Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a nice gloomy rainy day here back in Dubbo, New South Wales, Australia. So today what we're going to do is going to be working on the V8 Hilux that we have for a shop truck. A little about the little Hilux that we've got. It's a 1988 model Hilux dual cab. Has a Holden 5-litre V8 motor in it. So the motor's been completely pulled apart, reassembled with you know, flat top pistons, fully balanced bottom end, standard crank and rods, ported early model 308 heads with big valves and big springs. So what we've done with it is, I should have gone fuel injected with it, but instead I decided to keep to the roots of how the old owner had the ute originally with the carburetor. I've had nothing but dramas with the carby. Whatever I do, it always runs rich. I've mucked around with the fuel mixtures on it, get it around about the 14 to 1 on the AFR gauge, but it still plays up extremely bad after a while. So what we're going to do is go up to the storage shed where I have it parked and stored for now, just so you know we can get it out of the way of the workshop at work. But when we get there, it's probably going to be covered in a lot of dust and a lot of crud. It's been sitting for probably I'd say probably 2-3 months, so hopefully the battery's still charged on it. But yeah, we'll have a look at it and see how we go. So see you there in a second. Here we are at the storage shed. Hopefully I'm at the right one. It's been a long time since I've been here, but see how this goes. Looks like it's going to unlock, so that's good. Open up the door. Still here, so it hasn't been stolen, so that's a good thing. All right, so a little bit about this car again. So when I got this originally, it was a white Hilux. We've gone and painted it a really nice green, but not that you can really see it, but you can see it in the other video that I've posted. So it was a complete indoor and out respray besides the engine bay. It's had a full custom interior done by a local guy here, by JM Upholstery Services. So he's done all the door cards and everything like that. Seats as well. It's a bit of a mess in here at the moment. Nothing hasn't been finished off, but done the roof lining and everything as well. But I don't have a light in here, so I'm using a nice big bright light that I've got from work. So what I'll do is I'll stand that up there, pop this bonnet, and give you a little bit more of a look around on it, and show you the dramas that I'm having with this carburetor, and see how we go. Alright, so as you can see, it has fuel and everything in it. Fuel pump's going. It just doesn't want to start, so give it a couple of pumps. But no, it doesn't want to go, so we'll pop the bonnet and take the carby air cleaner off and see exactly how much fuel is squirting into the bowls. But my guess would be not very much, so we might have to pull the carby apart a little bit and see what's going on, see whether it's got a blocked jet or what's going on. Now, excuse the lighting, it is pretty crap in here, but I've only got the one work light, and it's, like I said, it's raining outside, so it's not exactly the best weather to be playing with a carby outside. So looking down in there, it's squirting absolute stuff all into it. So I know it definitely has fuel in the bowls, but I'll pull the bowls off anyway on the front, on the primary, because I can see it squirting a little bit in the rear, in the secondaries. So pull that front bowl off, see what's going on. I might even take the fuel regulator side off and make sure it is getting fuel pressure up to it. But as far as I'm aware, it's still getting the fuel pressure. Okay, so what I'll do is just place this rag under here to catch some of the excess fuel that will be coming out of this bowl, because the bowl will be full on this. So I won't disconnect the fuel line running to it. So just undo the 4 8mm bolts that go through. Now you do need to be extremely careful of ripping the gasket for all of it. So just slowly undo them all. Now there is quite a lot of fuel still coming out of that, which tells me that there is fuel in the metering blocks. So hopefully there's just a bit of crud stuck in it and it's not allowing it to come through. So like I said, just be very careful of the gasket for the main body of our body. So have a look in there now. That all looks fairly clean there. Just be careful with this metering block. I might just unscrew that actually, it's going to be easy to play with. So that's the metering block for this car. So I might just pull it apart and just have a look at the float bowl in it and see what's going on there, see whether it's got something stuck in the float or what. But when I push on that, seems to be fuel squirting out of it, but doesn't seem to be anything blocking the front of it. So we'll have a look, see what we can find, and I'll keep you posted. Okay, so we got the billet metering block off without destroying the gasket too badly, which I probably still will end up replacing it. So I'm just going to check these jets in it. Make sure that they're not blocked, because we have rejetted it a few times to, like I said, to try and help with the AFR, with it running so rich. That one looks like it's got nothing in it, so I'll just put that one back in so we don't lose it. So this is what the jets look like. So what we're running in this one is 74 size jets in the primary. In the secondary, I'm not 100% sure. I think we're running 78s or maybe even 80s in the secondaries. So just double check. No, they're not blocked, so that's not that. Tighten that back up. Nothing else seems to be blocked on it. Float bowl is what helps regulate, well, it regulates how much fuel goes into the bowl. So if it's stuck wide open, what it'll do, it'll flood the carby, which we don't want that. So what we might do next is just have a look at the power valve on it. Make sure that there's nothing wrong with it. And it seems to be working the way it should be. It doesn't seem to be split inside of it, so Not 100% sure what's going on here, guys, which is quite frustrating, but it's all a part of the engine side of things. So it is a QFT, quick fuel carby, so they're normally really good, whereas this one I got specially built by a guy in Brisbane and ran fine straight out of the box. It is a 750, so it's probably a little bit big for my engine application, but he reassured me that I can, with the spacer plate, the super sucker as he called it, the billet block underneath, he said it'll run perfect with it. So we're yet to see, but I've got a feeling that the plugs might be stuffed on it as well, because after a while of running it rich, it fouls the plugs up quite bad, and then they cease to fire. So have a look at it all again and pull a plug out and see what's going on with it, and see from that. Okay, so I haven't found anything majorly wrong with it. So just thinking that the might need a little bit of adjustment up on the throttle linkage area, where it pushes on the diaphragm to suck the air into it to push the fuel into the jets. So thinking maybe if I readjust that, that might help with the problem. So fingers crossed that's what it is. Doubtful, but optimistic. Pushing down on it now, so I'll just tighten this back up. Don't need to do them overly tight either, guys, because you will either snap the thread, the bolt off in there, or strip the carby base. You crack one of those, it's not good. So just clean some of this excess fuel up that's sitting on top of this manifold here. Last thing we need is a backfire and catching that on fire. So what I'll do is I'll just prime it up, hit the key, see what it does. So it's filling up in that bowl there now, in the primary and secondary. We have just under 6 psi of pressure running through that regulator, so still doesn't want to squirt in there properly. So we've got a little bit of it to squirt in there, so I'll just hit the key and see whether it will start up. But oh, started up straight away. Give it a couple more hits with the throttle. Still doesn't squirt in there like it did with the Demon carby I had, but so what I'll do is I'll keep mucking around with it, see what I can find, try and figure out why it's not squirting it into that primary or the secondary properly, and if I can figure it out, I'll get back to you. Okay, I think I may have found what the issue is. I think it might just be, this might be a bit too loose on the, what do you call them, the plunger. So when I push pressure on it, it squirts the fuel in there. So I don't know whether there's something binding up on it or not, but after I do that, it squirts a bit of fuel into it. As soon as I hit the key, it'll start up straight away. Probably needs a bit more fuel squirted into it. But if I grab a screwdriver underneath this plate here, you can see that when I push a bit of pressure on it here, it'll squirt into the primaries here. So after it's done that, now if I hit the key, it'll fire up straight away. Hopefully. Okay, so I've adjusted that diaphragm on there a bit now, so hopefully it's going to work. I've gave it a couple of pumps with the throttle. I'll give it a kick in the guts and see what it does. Still not getting enough fuel into it. It's not squirting it in there either, so don't know what it's doing in here. Super strange. I've tightened this diaphragm up as much as I could without it making too much drama, but maybe the diaphragm might be buggered on it as well. Give it another kick in the guts. Got a gut load of fuel in it now, so still not. Jump inside of it and mean the throttle that way. Hopefully that'll help it. Definitely not happy with me. So I don't know whether it's getting too much fuel in it now or what it's doing. It's still pretty dry down in there. Oh. See if that helps it at all. Try it up again. Alright, I might adjust that diaphragm a little bit further and see whether that helps it. Okay, so I might have figured out what the drama was. So what I've just done is on this spring and nut and bolt here, I've just put a washer in between. So it didn't look like it had enough pressure on it. So what I've done there is done that, and now as you can see, if I can get the right angle for the light, now squirts a bit of fuel into it. So if I hit the key now and see what it does, you know, I'm not a carby expert, I don't claim to be. I really hate the things, but we'll see how it goes. Might be a little bit flooded still. Get a bit of air into it. Right, heaps better. going to run half decent as I drive it. I don't have any windscreen wipers on it at the moment, so I can't do too much with it. But we'll take it for a quick run and see how it goes. Okay, so we'll take it for a quick run around the block just to make sure everything's running all right with it. Hopefully it starts up all right again. Fires up like a gem now. It does help when it's warmed up as well. So we'll just reverse it back. Hopefully we don't hit anything. It doesn't help when you have very, very dark window tint like I have. Alright. So whack it in the gear there. Just make sure I have the key fob to get out of here. Which I don't know whether I do. Yes, I do. Alright. Take it for a quick run around the block. Sorry about the lights, it's pretty crap in here. So we'll make it a short quick trip. Let's get out of these gates here. Tacho is set probably a little bit low for what I need. I don't want to change colours, it's stupid. Raise the tacho up a bit. Go to about 4 grand. Won't be revving it to 4 grand more than likely, but it is still breaking up quite a bit, only because it does need a set of plugs in it. So we'll just take it for a quick run. And all it does is spins in the rain, so there's no point being too silly in the rain and driving it too far. So what we'll do is we'll not do anything silly because it is raining, like I said. Might give it a couple of kicks in the guts here and there, but other than that, that'll probably do. Then we'll put it away, and hopefully the rain will help wash some of the dirt and crud off of it. Very bumpy in here as well. Doesn't have much shop travel, and not having wipers doesn't help, so that'll do it, I think, before we get police called on us because it is quite loud. Put it away. Go out. Too short. There we go. Okay. So like I said, it doesn't run exactly great with the AFR. No. That's on idle, sitting at, you know, around about the 13. So ideally you want 14 on the AFR, but it's not too bad. Does need to be tuned, and like I said, does need a set of plugs chucked in it very, very badly. So we'll chuck it back in this shed here, get it out of the road before any unwanted people show up, which we don't want that. Last thing I need is to get the car impounded. Find the key, turn the fans off. Okay, so that's a little rundown of the little shop Hilux that we've got, the little 308. So hopefully we can get those carby issues fixed on it fairly soon. So now I know what the drama is, I know what has to be fixed on it. Chuck another set of spark plugs in it and readjust the fuel mixture a little bit more, lean it out a little bit further so it's not so rich, then it should be good to go. So if you like these sorts of videos, especially with the little rundown of the little Hilux that we've got, and if you have any comments on anything that we've done to it as far as interior, paint, engine stuff, hit me up in the comments section, because we'll answer any questions that you have. So as far as anything else. Unfortunately, Flubby, the LS1 turbo VT Commodore that we have, it will not be making it to Power Cruise in February. It is a bit worse for wear than what we initially anticipated for engine and gearbox. So what we've done is, in the next video that you'll see, it's a little bit all over the place. We've put the motor back together, the one that's blown up, put it back in the car without the gearbox, just to mount up the turbo and intercooler and get the hot side of the exhaust done. So bear with that. It's we've done that over about a month's period. So yeah, like I said, it's a little bit chop and change with it, but we're rambling a bit here. So what we'll do is end the video here. But before I go, we will be having a merchandise drop in the next video. So we'll be doing shirts and stickers. Will help the YouTube channel out a lot as far as, you know, help pay for builds, as in the new motor that we plan on putting in Flubby. So like I said, that'll be in the next drop that we'll have. Greg will be printing those all out because he's the sign writer and printer. So it'll be pretty cool stickers. I've already got a shirt made which I've worn a couple of times now, which I've had a few comments on, and a lot of people do like it. We just want to play around a little bit more with the colours on it. It's just with black shirts, it's a little bit difficult to read, but as a sticker I reckon it'll look pretty cool. So in February for Power Cruise in Sydney, we'll be only taking Greg's VE GTS. He's 2008, I'm pretty sure it is. It's got 505 horsepower at the wheels. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's about how much it is. Is a 6-speed manual, so a lot of clutch dumps and should be a lot of fun. We'll both be driving that, so I'll get as much footage as I can for that of hopefully Greg spinning it and ending up on the grass, not into a wall, and vice versa for myself. So if you do like the content that we're putting out, like I said, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next vid. Thanks.